Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/AITA. In today's episode, AITA for not baking much for my family. AITA for telling my wife to work more if she wants to help her sister financially. AITA for telling my friend it was too damn bad she was uncomfortable. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. AITA for not baking much for my family. I, 16M, started dating my girlfriend 2 years ago. I also got super into baking around that time. I bake a lot. My girlfriend loves desserts. So I've given her a ton of stuff I bake, all kinds of different stuff. I often try to bake something new and then she gets to try something new. I honestly love baking way more than eating it. My girlfriend is the opposite. Well, recently she gave me a scrapbook she made. She had counted everything I baked her apparently, and she gave me this scrapbook after I baked her 100th dessert. It was filled with a picture of every dessert I baked and pictures of me baking and her eating. She wrote a paragraph about each item I baked. Each item was dated too. She had been working on this for 2 years. She also wrote a long letter on how proud she is of my baking hobby, thanking me for the sweets, and telling me how much she loves me. It was the sweetest gift I've ever gotten and I honestly cried. I showed my mom and sister expecting them to think it's cute, but they were pissed. They were angry I've spent so much time baking for my girlfriend and not them. I just got into this habit and I loved making my girlfriend happy as well since she loves desserts. NTA, you and your girlfriend sound sweet and your family sounds bitter. NTA, OP, don't let their reaction sour you. Your family is salty, they didn't get any sweet treats. Tang in there. And look how much GF appreciated what you had been doing. She secretly made a scrapbook for you of everything you made for her. Now that is sweet and you are NTA. It really is so wholesome and nice. How the family could be so negative about such a sweet thing. Given you're living at home and your mom and sister had to have been at least somewhat aware of the frequency of your baking, 100 dishes in 2 years seems like roughly once a week, often enough to be noticeable. It's really strange to me that they're just deciding to be mad about this now. Surely if this was a real issue, it could have been raised much earlier. NTA. I can't imagine they didn't get to try a cookie here or there as well. I also love baking and my family knows that they're welcome to grab whatever looks ugly if I'm baking for an event/specific person. So sounds like they're upset that Opie didn't specifically bake stuff for them as often as he did for his girlfriend, which is such a strange thing to get upset over. Paragraph 1, wholesome. Paragraph 2, even more wholesome. Why is this on this sub? Paragraph 3, but why didn't you make me dessert? NTA. I'm imagining a 14-year-old baking and another 14-year-old taking pictures and writing it all down. Warms my heart. Your family definitely won't appreciate your baking like your girlfriend does. Info, who buys your ingredients? Is it your parents or do you have a job/allowance you use? NTA, it's your choice to bake for whoever you want. If they want to bake/spend time with you, they should ask. AITA for telling my wife to work more if she wants to help her sister financially. My wife, 38F, and I, 37M, have been married for 12 years and have 3 kids, 10, 8, and 5. We both work full-time and have the kids in daycare during the summer until school starts up again. We both make decent money, but with the cost of literally everything going up more and more often, our budget is getting tighter. We still live comfortably within our means, but we are saving much less and are being more conscious of our discretionary spending. Our youngest is starting kindergarten this fall, so that will help because we aren't spending on daycare anymore. But our oldest kids are now in more sport and extracurricular activities which pretty much offset any saving we would be doing on childcare. We aren't anywhere near struggling, but we are definitely more aware of how we spend our money now. My wife's younger sister, Jen, 30F, is 6 months pregnant with her third child. Jen is not married and this is her third different baby daddy. Only one of the first two fathers is involved, the other is a complete deadbeat who regularly skips child support payments. Jen recently called my wife and told her that her current baby's dad left her and she's freaking out and asking for help. Whether that be money, a place to stay, anything. My wife's parents are both passed away and they have no other siblings, just each other. So, obviously my wife wants to do whatever we can to help. But, we don't have the space to house them and don't have a lot of extra money to give them either. My wife wants to give Jen a few $100s every month and to start watching her two older kids so Jen can keep working. Personally, I think that idea is short-sighted because Jen won't be able to work after the new baby comes. My idea was to dip into savings and pay for a lawyer for Jen to do a better job of getting the child support she is owed. I would rather bite a bigger bullet once than death by 1,000 cuts over months and months. But my wife says that won't help put food on Jen's table every week. I laid out our budget and asked my wife where we can make cuts to support Jen, because I just don't see it. I asked her what she would be willing to give up, or have our kids go without, to support Jen. She got mad at me and called me heartless for not wanting to help. It turned into a fight and I ended up telling her that if she wants to support her sister like this, then she is going to need to work more or get a second job because I'm not compromising our family budget long term. All of our finances are shared, so it's not like either of us has our own money to use however we want. I also know that my wife and I are the only family Jen has and I agree that we should help. But adding hundreds or possibly more to our monthly budget isn't going to work. Jen needs more help than we can provide and she needs to find resources that can do that for her. But my wife thinks I am being an uncaring about this. I asked her what she would be willing to give up, or have our kids go without, to support Jen. She dodged the question that needs to be asked and played a guilt trip on top of it. NTA, stay the course. Your SIL has made her own bed and can continue lying in it. Your SIL has made her own bed and can continue lying in it. This OP. Your home and your children should not be punished or suffer the consequences of your sister-in-law's decisions. What will happen if there is a fourth or even a fifth nephew? Is it going to be a constant situation in which your children cannot have benefits for this? Your sister-in-law has to deal with the consequences of her actions and put her life in order. Otherwise, her behavior will only escalate and you will be the ones harmed by it. NTA. Stand your ground. NTA, someone might want to explain to Jen what keeps causing these pregnancies. You have no idea how hard I had to bite my tongue to keep myself from bringing this up. But that would have done nothing but add fuel to the fire, no point in making this worse than it is. NTA. This is one of those cases where just giving her some monthly help will never solve the problem. I prefer your suggestion of paying for a lawyer so Jen can what is legally owed to her, but Jen is clearly too selfish to change her own behavior. How does your wife propose she can watch Jen's current children? NTA. The cold, hard truth is that you don't have the financial bandwidth to send several $100s a month to her sister without either going into debt, penalizing your children by taking things away from them or compromising your future. This does not make you uncaring. What it makes you is a man who prioritizes his immediate family first. It's not about not wanting to help. It's about understanding the limitations of your own financial situation. If she wants to help her sister, she's going to need to increase that bandwidth. There's a cost associated with being her sister's savior. She's just refusing to acknowledge that right now. Unfortunately, you're going to need to keep a close eye on your finances. Your wife may well try to do an end run around you in order to help. AITA for telling my friend it was too damn bad she was uncomfortable? I work as a kind of personal assistant/art handler and organizer to an individual with an extensive collection. It's an interesting job and I get a lot of opportunities for new experiences and invitations to events. My boss and I do not have the same tastes in art. He's an older, very traditional guy, and that reflects in the events I get invited to / the people that I'm interacting with at these events. We have a world-famous opera in our city and I was gifted 2 tickets to the opera last weekend, with an invitation to attend a pre-show cocktail party in a private area. This was not a work event for me but still a networking opportunity and a gift from my boss's personal friend. My fiancée was visiting family, so I invited my friend Sarah to join me. She arrived at my house Saturday afternoon to get ready with me. She had brought a dress to wear that I didn't think she should. It was very pretty but more like a club dress than an event dress, bright pink and very short. And our opera is known for a no dress code, just be fabulous approach, so it was fine for the venue itself, but I knew the pre-party was going to be an older, more traditional opera dress crowd. I wore a deep green floor-length dress, for reference. I offered her the option of choosing something out of my closet and told her that I thought she might be uncomfortable at the party because of the type of group they were, but she wanted to wear the dress, so I didn't push it. At the party, most of the attendees didn't seem interested in engaging with her, and while outwardly polite, it did feel like they were equally uncomfortable with her presence as she was being there. She stayed next to me the whole time, which was fine, but she was sullen and kept grabbing my arm to whisper in my ear that we should leave. After the 3rd time Sarah pulled me out of a conversation and told me she wanted us to leave the party, I got irritated and told her it was too bad that she was uncomfortable. I warned her. There's 2 bars out in the public area, she could go hang out there and I'd join her in an hour for the show, but I couldn't leave yet without looking bad. I might not have been working, but I accepted the invitation, and now my behavior here reflects on my boss, and that ultimately affects my job regardless of it not being officially work. Sarah stayed at the party instead, and eventually it was over and we attended the show. She didn't speak to me at all on the drive home and texted me after I dropped her off that she was upset by the way I had treated her and that I should have left when she wanted. I think that's unfair. I talk about my job all the time and she knows very well what expectations are placed on me at these events and how I am expected to act. I tried to tell her, but obviously I wasn't going to force her to change. But she's still mad, and a mutual friend is guilting me for not caring about Sarah's comfort and am starting to feel a little bad and ick. AITA? NTA fair warning was given prior to the event as well as an opportunity to change attire. That being, I don't know the extent of the warning given, perhaps a bit more detailed explanation should be given next time to ensure the individual in question knows exactly what might occur. Sometimes communicating a warning doesn't match the level of internal concern due to not wanting to insult the person, resulting in them not thinking too much about it, and it may be possible that was the case. Her feelings are somewhat justified as it sucks being judged like that. But as mentioned, you're NTA here. I'm not sure why she wouldn't have just asked about dress code to begin with. Anytime I'm doing something out of the ordinary where my presence reflects on someone else, I make sure I know the dress code. NTA. You were treating this as a networking opportunity. Sarah was treating it as a party, in spite of your telling her that it was important to use said opportunity. Her discomfort was a direct result of her decision to not dress appropriately. Also, she comes off as being ungrateful for the tickets. Yeah, totally agree. Maybe she heard the word party and stopped listening after that. This is not on OP, who I agree is NTA. NTA. What sort of devil wears Prada friends do you have? You made clear this was an older crowd and that her dress would make her stick out. You informed her it was a networking event even if you were technically off the clock. Perhaps she's not as familiar with these type of not work interactions and truly didn't understand the subtext, but I think you made yourself clear about what the night was going to be like. She should have excused herself and went to the general bar if she wasn't able to enjoy the party. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.